So excited to be in the Kit Kat Club. Kit Kat Club.
Kit Kat Club.
Yeah.
Say that quickly 3
Kit Kat
times.
Club. Kit Kat. My God.
Yeah.
No, is that like your warm-up before every
No, but we
show?
should. I'm going to suggest it.
100%.
Yeah, Kit Kat Club, Kit Kat Club. Oh, I'm quite good
And just
at
do it in arpeggios, Kit Kat Club.
Yeah, very good.
This is the Good Bad Mad podcast. I'm your host, Meg Elys, and I sit down with some of your favourite creators to talk about the creative life. We talk film, theatre, literature, fashion, and more. We explore what goes into building a creative career. This episode, we chat with the triple threat talent Nic Myers, who's currently the alternate Sally Bowles in Cabaret at London's Kit Kat Club.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Chatting with me.
I am Nic Myers. That's my name. I'm the alternate Sally at the Kit Kat Club. Kit Kat Club. And what else do I do? I also am a swing, so I cover 5 of the ensemble girls. And I do Sally once a week, and that's my life at the moment.
That sounds exhausting.
Oh, no, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's not boring, is actually what it is.
That's good. We like
Yeah.
not boring.
Yeah,
For sure.
me too. I'm the child of 2 military parents. So both of my parents were in the army. So I was born in Northern Ireland, and we lived in Nepal and Kathmandu for a bit. We came here for me to go to school, to an English primary school. So I started primary school, and my mum was one of those mums that was like, do everything, try everything. I was giving you hockey, I was giving you swimming, I was giving you football. None of them stuck, absolutely none of them.
Yeah.
But I did start to have singing lessons. That was my first kind of inkling of it. I had a singing lesson, and my singing teacher's daughter did a youth musical theatre group.
Okay.
So she kind of said, well, come along and watch and see what you think. And the first ever show I saw in front of my eyes was a show called Pendragon,
Okay.
which is niche, and I love telling people that because
Yeah.
they're like, what?
Some kind of Arthurian night.
It was
retelling.
exactly that, the Sword
Yeah.
and the Stone, that story, but a musical. I saw it and I watched it and I thought, yeah, I want to do that. And so I did the next one, which was Picnic at Hanging Rock, was the first musical I was ever in.
Okay.
If you can swallow. And I've left something very important out, and I will get shouted at.
Okay. Tell me.
God bless. My grandma, she was a drama teacher. So I have left that out. That's actually
It's
really
in the
integral.
blood. It's in the blood.
So
then.
she gave me drama lessons. She taught for like Lambda exams.
Yeah.
So when I was 7, she started giving me Lambda exams.
So what would you put first? Would you say you're a singer first, a dancer first?
An actor.
An actor first.
Yeah. An
That's where it
actor,
all starts.
a singer.
Yeah.
Really love singing. I really value singing, and I really value
Yeah.
telling stories through song. And musicals are where my heart lies. But definitely an actor,
Yeah.
and then a dancer as well, because you know.
Because
you
you've got to be a triple threat.
Babe, you gotta be. You gotta get them
Yeah.
all up to the same. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'd really focused on that at training.
Yeah.
I was just like, I have to be a better dancer.
Because you were an art set girl.
I am.
right?
Yeah, I am an art ed girl. I have my mum's kind of drive. She's very driven, and that kind of want to be the best. That perfectionism thing got from my mum. Because my mum was a bit of a trailblazer as a woman in the army. She was the first ever youngest female major in the UK.
Good girl.
So I kind of got those genes, but just didn't utilise them on the army. I utilised them in musicals.
Probably the complete opposite there, but love that.
Do you know? No.
No?
My parents say quite often, because they've kind of done this journey with me and been
Yeah.
in this life with me, they say quite often that there are a lot of similarities with the training, the rigour, the discipline.
Yeah.
Some of the things I tell them about arts ed, our barring and our late rules and our things like that. Just some of the rigour.
Yeah.
They're like, it's no, that's very military.
So
there's
there's a
your
bit of jazz
confirmation.
hands on top.
Yeah, exactly, and you're not risking your life, but
Hopefully not anyway.
but there's your confirmation, musical theatre people, from 2 military people. It's hard. It's hard, and you've got to be disciplined.
So stepping on to that West End stage in your first role, what was that like?
In Back to the Future. Oh my gosh! Wow. Back to the Future opening night. So we had the opening of the previews. That was wild.
Yeah.
And they'd warned me. The cast who had done 2 weeks in Manchester
Yeah.
before the lockdown. That cast had been like, it is wild. The fans go wild. And I'm like, really? And the music started, da-na-na-na-na-na-na. The screaming, I could not bear it. I thought I was going to cry.
Really?
And we're all behind this flat waiting to come on, the ensemble, and I really thought I was going to cry, and the whole show was just, yeah, never had an audience reaction like it. And then the press night came around 6 weeks later, and that again was just unbelievable. I was like, I cannot believe that this is my world.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable, surrounded by the most incredibly talented people in that show. My God. And then this audience that were just so there for you. It felt, at the end, Power of Love's the last song, and it's kind of, it's out of context, so it's more like a gig setting than in the story. And it was like being in a rock concert. Like, that sounds so lame to say, but it really was. The audience was just crazy. So that whole job, oh my gosh, I just love that job and all the people on it.
So that kind of audience reaction, that energizes you rather than past pressure.
No, especially like when in an ensemble
Yeah.
like that, and it was a fairly big ensemble. We were all really tight, really good friends, and like that, it just energizes you.
Yeah.
Like energy through the roof, can't even cope kind of energy. So you just get there and it just starts, and you just start doing all the things that you've been trained to do. So, yeah, Back to the Future was that. It did really feel like, oh, this is everything I've been trained to do, and now we're doing it for money.
Which is amazing.
Great. That's
like,
the aim.
finally, after years and years and years, finally we're getting
Yeah,
some.
stop paying me rather than me paying you to do this. Yeah.
And then what was after Back to the Future? What came next?
After Back to the Future was I did Cabaret in Paris at the Lido. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hilarious. I just love Cabaret.
I mean, I don't blame you. It is an epic musical.
It is.
So,
the best.
and then you came and did this one.
And then I came into
What's
this
like the
just everything.
Yeah.
Just it's an
Completely
entirely different show.
different.
This is one of those shows that you can kind of spin it and put it on its feet in so many different ways.
Yeah.
There's also different versions of the score and script. I don't know if people know that, but I'm going to get my dates wrong. The 1986 production, the original Broadway, doesn't have Mine Hair, doesn't have Maybe This Time. It has a song, the MC has a song called Sitting Pretty. There's a few different, I think Ernst has a song and Schultz has a song. It's just very different, and the script is a little bit
Can't
different
imagine
too.
Cabaret without Maybe This Time. Like,
I know, right? So that's the version we did in Paris.
Yeah.
So and it was a much bigger ensemble than this one. And so, yeah, and then when they made the film for Liza, that's when Counter-Nab wrote Maybe This Time and Mine Hair for Liza. And so this production have kind of cherry-picked all the best bits, I think, all the best bits of all the versions, and they've gone, there we go, enjoy.
it is phenomenal.
Yeah, you've seen it, I'm guessing.
It's phenomenal.
Isn't it? That's Rebecca Frecknell for you. Like, the version that started in 2021, Eddie and Jessie, and that amazing first cast, it's still there, it lingers, but it changes every time there's a new cast change. Even, you know, a couple people change here and there, it changes and it grows, and there's no, it's not mechanical at all. There's no stand on 4 and you need to face that way and it's a breath on 3. Like, there's none of that. It really changes with the cast and whatever the cast brings to it, which is, I think it's the way to keep shows, to keep big commercial long-running shows like this, it's the way to keep them fresh. It's breathing, it's live, it's, really exciting.
So, you do a lot of things on this show. I guess primarily you're alternate Sally.
Yeah, do a bit of Sally once a week.
And then you're a swing.
And then I'm a swing, yeah.
So for people who don't know what that is, can you explain what an alternate is and what a swing is?
Yeah, sure. So an alternate is, so you have the person playing the part. At the moment, it's the amazing Rebecca Elys Taylor. She is literally fabulous. So she will do the show for the majority of the time, and then I do one show a week, either a Wednesday matinee or a Thursday. And it's essentially because a lot of leads in the West End, those big, either big sings or big emotional, like uphill hauls, which Sally is one. They're just, you can exhaust performers, because we're humans too, I think. Like, a lot of the general public maybe don't compute how much of a marathon something like this is. And so it's basically just to keep everyone, as best we can, healthier for longer, because doing something for a year is a long a long old slog.
Yeah, and they've just committed to more as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, RLT and Jake are just staying till March now, which is amazing. But you've got to keep them healthy. You can't make people do, you know, these massive musical theatre roles, which singing is like, you're a vocal athlete, you know, it's kind of doing stuff with your voice that is not speaking, and it's not your everyday, how most people use their voice.
Yeah.
So you're doing this really heavy lifting with such a small little muscle, and you got to be kind to it. So that's kind of the point of an alternate.
Yeah.
And then a swing, so there's offstage swings on this show. Some shows have onstage swings, but this is offstage. So it means that we are here. If we're not on, we're in the dressing room, waiting for disaster to strike. Or we are on covering holidays, or if there's holidays and sickness, the swings will be required. And the swings cover the ensemble. So there's usually lead covers within the ensemble, and then the swings cover the ensemble. Yeah, so I'm on for Rosie tonight as we speak, as we film. I don't know when this is going out, but yeah.
So you've got to know everything. You can't just know one, you've got to be completely immersed in the
you've got to
show.
have definitely. There's every swing job on a show is different to the next. But this is kind of a nice one because it's the 5 girls, and often they're in the same numbers together. So it's not, you learn this number for Rosie and you learn this number for Texas. You know, it's like the same numbers, different directions and positions. That's basically the gig.
Yeah.
That's the gig, yeah.
And as a swing, as an alternate as well, do you try and emulate, I guess, the other performer, or do you put your own twist on it?
No, not in this show. I can't speak for other shows and how they work. That's kind of like director's choice in terms of how they want the machine to run. But with this, Tom Hughes directed me in as Sally, and it was such an amazing experience. We had a blast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he really treated me like, we did the table work. We started from scratch.
Yeah.
We did the table work. We did the thinking, the discussing before we got anything on its feet or did a musical. Do you know what I mean?
Did you do the actioning? That's always the...
Oh, we did a bit of that. We did a bit of this, a bit of that. Tom loves asking questions. It's his favourite thing. So we did just so much talking.
Yeah.
And that was great because it really gets you to go, what am I actually doing? Or what am I actually saying here? And what does that mean to me? And what does that mean to my Sally? Rather than, no, there's not a single ounce of copying in this show. And the same goes for the swings. We've all got, we've got like our own costume. So we don't just, so this is lovely Laura's costume, and I don't wear Laura's costume. I have my own costume, and I wear that for any of the parts I was going for. And yeah, Jordan in rehearsals was very much like, you know, you're finding like you've got a reaction to the end of Act 1, that big song, and it's like swings, you know, have your own reaction. Think about what your personal character might be thinking about that. It's not just doing whatever Liv or Elle or Laura
so you get the framework
doing.
and then you get to explore, which is the funnest bit.
Yeah, basically. You get to, decide for yourself. There's a lot of deciding for yourself on the show, which I love. Yeah. She is a big vocal.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a marathon. It's one of those like where she just has a big song every 10 minutes and it never stops until the very end. She doesn't let you rest until the end. The second act, you know, it's an emotional bugger. There are, it's heavy some days. It's really heavy some days. A lot of the time you can kind of, because you do it every day, it becomes like the thing that you do.
Yeah.
And we know the story, there's nothing new to us. But some days when the world is worlding, when the world is doing its thing, like, it's heavy.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that when it first came out, 3 years ago?
Oh, you watched the first iteration?
I got second generation.
The Amy and Fra generation?
Yeah.
Oh, me too, stunning.
Phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
But definitely when they first announced it, I was like, this is very specific timing that they're bringing it out. And it did. It felt very...
It is specific timing, but at the same time, I think you could do this show again in 10 years' time. And when it was done 10 years ago before this, like, this show is always going to be harrowing because that is the way of the world.
Unfortunately.
And it was written to be such.
Yeah.
I really do think so.
But that's almost the complete genius of it, is the fact that it's celebratory within that at the same time. Like there's
celebratory of difference and
life
quirks and the club is a very accepting place.
Yeah.
And I think the main crux of the show is, you know, we need more of this and less of that outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I'm not joking with Sally. It is every time I go on stage. Yeah. I do get giddy, like very giddy. Yeah. I really love Don't Tell Mama, her first number. It's that kind of like, it's just excitement. That's all I feel before I go on.
And you
it's
can really push with that one. Like it.
Oh, yeah. Do you like a bit of comedy, me? I do like a bit of comedy.
Yeah.
Some of the scenes, yeah. It's just so well written. It's so great to get your teeth into. Yeah. And especially having a creative team that kind of lets you just whatever you kind of want to do, or like try that out, or try like this. And yeah, that is. But Sally, honestly, the answer is all of it. Yeah. Every time I get to go on stage. And then in the ensemble, what do I love? Willkommen's such a great number. Yeah. And it's the very, very start, but it is such a arousing, very hilarious, thrilling number. But that's very exciting to be a part of. Yeah. All of it is just such a gift to be a part of. And Julia's choreography is so, it's very unique, and it looks different on every single person's body. Every single person. It looks so different on it. And that's kind of lovely, because there's no right or wrong way to do it. You know, I'm very MT trained, and I love me a good line. I love a bit of line. I love core. I love, you know, things that are up straight. And that was kind of my route here. And then
it's almost the opposite though.
It's so the opposite. There's a lot in this position. Yeah. There's a lot it's grungy, and it's dark, and it's twisted, and it's also very cool at times. Yeah. And very cool, the least cool person in the world. And yeah, it's just, and it's really individual. You can kind of you can move your body how your body wants to move, which is, again, a privilege to be a part of. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, I guess with Sally, you can almost really embrace the ugly side of the character a lot more.
Yeah, I did struggle with embracing the ugly for a little bit. Where I hope, if Tom listens to this, he will be laughing at this point, because there was and our amazing associates, Kayla and Comfort, and our resident Alana, they were really they said to me for quite a few weeks, you know, you can let go more there, or you can be uglier, or you can less dancey there. And my little musical theatre head was spinning, going, oh my God, everything I've ever been taught is not appropriate here. And it's kind of letting that go was it's very liberating once I did, because now I'm just I can do whatever, and it's ugly and I don't care. But it did take me it took me a hot sec to get there. One guy, he ran the pub down the road that my dad was regular in, and this guy was like, you'll never work, you know that. And this is a guy who knows nothing about me, had never seen me in anything, doesn't have a clue what he was talking about. And I think that is what I said to myself. I just ignored it. Yeah. And I just went, who are you? Yeah. Who are you? I think that's a lot of the time. You've got to curate who is talking to you in the first place. Do they really know what they're talking about? Are they really knees deep in the industry right now? Yeah. Even people that, you know, were knocking about 30 years ago and kind of haven't since. It's a different world. This industry changes over like that, quicker than, more often than you can imagine. So what is in, and what is the done thing, and what is appropriate, and what kind of things casting directors are looking for, and the types of people working is it goes in waves, and things come in and out of trend, and I just think, fuck it all. Oh, I saw, did you hear that?
Go for it.
I just think, fuck it all. None of these people, if you don't see someone like yourself working, then be that person. Be that person. And I'm gonna clang here. My boyfriend is such a trailblazer for this. My boyfriend is, he's a trans guy. He's in Charlie and Chocolate Factory at the moment. He's one of the only trans men who is currently transitioning and working at the moment. And he, you know, he didn't have anyone like that 4 or 5 years ago to look at going, oh, well, he's doing it. So Ted's doing it, so he's doing it. And I think people can tell you whatever they want, whether they think it's going to work out for you. The chances are so low. There's no money in it once you get there. I think, do they really know what they're talking about? Most of that's a lie. And I think if you really want to do it and you keep going, then it will happen. But it's got to come from you, and you can't rely on anyone else to keep pushing you or keep motivating you or keep telling you you're good. That's savage, but you do have to really just believe in yourself. A lot of this industry, so much of it is luck, and it is kind of true, that right place, right time thing. That is a lot of it, and like being kind and being a joy to work with does also get you a really long way. So I think, like, if you have doubts, question yourself, always challenge yourself. What are my doubts? Is it that I don't believe in myself, or is that other people don't believe in me? And just like work it out for yourself. But yeah, I'm just such a big advocate of, if you really want to do it, what are you doing if you're not? Do you know what I mean? Being unsatiated and unsatisfied with your life because you didn't go for it hard enough then. Life wasted. Yeah. Just go for it. I'm a big fan of like be fit for purpose. So the industry can like lead you down some really dark paths sometimes when it comes to like self-worth or your appearance or your weight, or there's a lot in musical theatre is kind of one of those, well, dancing looks like this and this is what dancers look like. And I think the industry is changing and the world is changing to be a much kinder, more embracing place. But I like to think of being fit for purpose. If I am fit, I'm healthy, I'm strong, however I get myself there. You know, I eat well, I eat enough, I have a good social life, and I balance it with sleeping enough. Gotta sleep enough. I'm not operating on less than 9 hours. I'm just not doing it. And you know, keeping yourself fit and healthy, however you choose to do so. I think that's got to be the way to keep it sustainable in the long term. And mentally, I cannot speak on. So I've had a couple times where you're out of a job and you're auditioning. That I've still not cracked that. And I don't know how long it'll take me to crack that, because I think that's just part and parcel of when you care so much about doing the job and you care so much about being in it and like telling stories, and when you can't do that because you're relying on other people to say yes, that can get you in a hole. And I'm not the best person to hand out advice on that, I'm afraid.
No, that's okay though.
But hopefully one day I have some amazing friends who like always get me through it. My friend KP, she's older than me, she'll hate that. She's older than me, but she's been doing this a long time, and I feel like she's cracked it as like having a life and enjoying your life outside of work. She'd probably say she hasn't, but I would love to get where she is, where it's like you have this other life and other things you enjoy and big bustling social life that keeps you afloat and all that kind of stuff. I think that's the way to do it, but I have not done that yet. Okay. The best thing about this as a career is undoubtedly the social bubble it puts you in. Theatre people of all departments and all walks of theatre are it's the most accepting and warm and, on the whole, kind and outgoing community of people. You know that like I found my people thing? When I started Back to the Future, I just thought, yeah, like this is it. This is the kind of people I want to live my life in, in that world. And so that is undoubtedly the best part, the people. The worst is the unstable part of it. It's unstable and it's fickle, and it's an industry that gives you no grace, and it can send you to dark places, but I think there's enough that makes that worth it. So that's probably the worst. It's just unstable. What was it, Mad?
Yeah.
Oh God, all of it. It's so weird. Have you seen this show? The weirdest shit we get up to. The weird is just, sometimes, I'll be doing something, not in this production, but in the Cabaret in Paris, I did 2 ladies holding a horsewhip in like a leather, it was barely clothes. It was like a leather strap here and here. And I was, stood side of stage with a horsewhip and just going like, this is my job. We get paid for this. So there's loads of like costume prop things that you just like, I cannot believe this is my life. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's been such a joy. Thank you for talking to me.
No worries. And how long are we doing Cabaret for?
I am in Cabaret until September 2024. What year is it?
3.
Okay, 2024,
Damn.
September. Yeah. See you there.
So this is home for a long time.
This is home for a long time, yeah.
Well, it's a good home.
Thanks so much for coming in.
No worries.
Thank you for listening. Hit that subscribe button if you want more Good Bad Mad. See you next time.